welcome again to another episode of the Nurse Empowerment and Leadership Podcast. This is a show where we highlight amazing work that nurse leaders and healthcare leaders are doing in their businesses as well as in the community. My name is Eva Francis and I will be your host today. I have an amazing and a dynamic guest here for you. Her name is Kerry-Ann Carnegie. She's a healthcare leader. She's a nurse executive. She's the owner of KAAB, a president of KAAB LLC, and I will be speaking with her momentarily. So let me get her on stage right now. Hi, Kerry. How are you doing?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Miss Francis?
I am so excited to have you. I've been wanting to connect with you and have you on my show and chat with you and talk about all the wonderful things that you are doing in the community, in your businesses, in your business. And I know that this is going to be a rich and a powerful conversation.
Well, I must say, Miss Francis, I'm honored to be here. I've watched you in the community do wonderful things yourself, and I'm really happy for this platform that you've created for us to be able to share what we do as well. So thank you. I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. You are welcome. Yes, we want to shine that spotlight on you today. So, Kerry, tell us a little bit about your professional, not your journey yet, but just tell who is Kerry-Ann Carnegie. Just talk to us.
Well, Kerry-Ann Carnegie is a humble servant of the healthcare industry, and my passion really lies in helping persons have life-changing experiences. All right, and so I think my career has brought me to the point where I'm honored that I'm able to offer this life-changing experiences through the healthcare platform. So
awesome. So you're the president of KAAB Continuum LLC. Talk to us about that a little, because I thought that was so powerful when we had the backstage conversations, when you were telling us about your some of your past students and so on. So tell us about your business.
Okay, so KAAB Continuum LLC actually was born out of a need for improving healthcare competence. That's how it was born. And so KAAB Continuum LLC is actually a management company that manages College of Health and Allied Development. It manages a placement company, and we also do healthcare consulting, where we assist organizations with different management issues, staffing issues, education-related issues. So in a nutshell, that's what we do. So we have three major operating divisions. So education, we have both academic and community, our professional development. Then we have workforce development, which is persons who are already appropriately qualified and are employed, but needs to get themselves updated, upgraded, refreshed, refined. And then, of course, we have the consulting part that assists organizations with maybe just reformulating, rebranding. So that's what we do.
Wonderful. Wow. So tell me a little bit more about the education. Do you train nurses from like RN to BSN or anything like that?
Yes, we do. We have the nursing assistant training program as well. We have the RN to BSN, but we also, in addition to nursing, we have social and human services. So if you want to be a case manager, a psychologist assistant, addiction coach, social and human services degree at the associate's level. And we also have the clinical research associate program as well that prepares persons to be research associates. So not researchers on a professional level, but to be assistants to the researcher.
Wow, that is so beautiful. So you're saying if someone wants to find their way in healthcare, want to navigate their way, this is the place that they need to check out. KAAB Continuum LLC is doing great work in the community. But tell us about, how did you started as a registered nurse or started as a CNA? Did you start as an RN here in this country, or tell us about your journey a little bit?
Okay, so I'm from Law, St. Elizabeth. A lot of people say, what?
What part of St. Elizabeth? What part?
It's northeast St. Elizabeth. It's 1 mile from, everybody will know this place, Appleton Estate.
Oh, you're really not a country girl, really. You're a town girl. You're no.
I'm definitely a country girl.
People,
I'm a
I'm
fa-
listening. That's,
I'm a farmland girl,
I
okay?
am too. I am. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So that's where I was born, and there we had the nurses would
Yeah,
come to
to
our home.
Jamaica.
Yeah, we would have nurses. If someone gets sick, the nurse would come to the home.
Yeah.
And I always felt helpless because I would just be standing in a corner watching. And so I thought when I grow up, I want to be like my nurse. And right. And then when I was about 16 years old, I went into Kingston to go to college. And I saw this big, beautiful billboard with this nurse that I eventually met. Her name is Nurse Irving.
Oh.
And she was so beautiful. And I said, I want to be just like that nurse. But what I saw was based on image, right?
Yeah.
Then when I actually got into nursing school, the first 3 months, I wanted to run away. But it was in the last week that I actually met Nurse Irving. And then I remembered, you wanted to. And so I decided I would stay and stick it out. And Nurse Irving doesn't know this, actually.
Oh.
Yeah. And so I decided to stick it out. And then I thought, okay, I'll give myself 2 years. And then the 2 years passed. And when I looked, it was 5 years. But I was enjoying what I was doing. I liked seeing a patient come in and leaving feeling better.
Yes.
It gave me a zest. And then I started to teach. Somehow I started to teach like my fellow colleagues or the new nurses that would come. And so within 6 months of leaving nursing school, I actually became an official preceptor. And so
you were passionate about this thing, girl. You were passionate about
yes, I do enjoy nursing. As I said, I like to see positive changes happen.
Yes,
and
yes.
For me, nursing has been the way.
Yes.
And so I've worked, I've gone through medical surgical nursing, trauma, PACU, different ICUs. I've been the director of nurses, director of education, you name it. I've had the experiences, so my transition, I think it was the passion led me, and I think I just naturally evolved because I don't think I had a particular ambition when it came to nursing, but I got involved. And so persons would, I'll give you an example. I'm working as a supervisor, but I would give recommendations when we go to these meetings. And then I get a question, we have a meeting externally, would you mind attending? So I go, and then I hear that, okay, you're the director of nurses designee. I'm like, okay, what is that? Yeah. And then the position comes up and it's like, okay, the position is open. We would like you to apply for it. And so this is how I moved along. It's not like I sat and said, this is what I want to be. And then because if I were to just, do exactly what I wanted to be, I would be two things.
Yes.
A farmer and a rock star.
What? You can still squeeze those in nursing. Listen, I could sense and see the passion while you're talking to me, and I can understand that, because for you to do what you're doing now, and for what you did in the past to get where you are today, there's some amount of drive and passion that you had, and that is why I like to tell people you must have a why.
Yes.
You saw the nurse and you said, you know what, I want to be like her. I want to impact lives, and you stepped out and you did it. And I just love to talk with nurse leaders like you, because you see, you're a nurse, you did nursing, or you're still doing nursing from your heart. It's from within. So it doesn't take a lot for you to say, you know what, I want to move forward. I want to do this. And I can see why you are doing all of these things in the community, because you want to change healthcare. You want to transform healthcare and make healthcare better.
Right.
Because we are part of it. And I just pretty impressive.
Thank you. And when I see nurses really suffering, because that's exactly what is happening now. I've had 4 burnouts of myself, and my doctor actually had to sit me down and say, and so I've had to think about, okay, if I'm not able to do this, if I'm not able to work at the bedside. What else can I do? And it was actually one of my CEOs, because I was creating curriculums for in-service education. And it was like, okay, we need to get them more information on this and more information on that. And he said to me, you need to license that information that you have, because I was just developing it and giving it to the organization. And so that's really how College of Health and Allied Development and this company was born. I think that was the initial question.
That's amazing.
Yeah, that's how it was born, because I was doing this already. And when reimbursements changed and they could no longer support my ambition of, he said, I recommend that you license that. And so that's how College of Health and Allied Development was born. And so it is our desire to see nurses relaxed and happy and their passion reignited, because every nurse that you speak to, they went in because they wanted to make a difference, but somehow something has come and dampened that, the demands, the changes, lack of recognition even.
Yeah.
And so it's my desire that's why we are having a conference, and the name is Reviving Healthcare, because we want to get that fire back.
Yes, absolutely.
For the people who are still in it.
Right.
Yeah.
What do you think, Kerry, what do you think nurse leaders and nurse executives, CEO, chief nursing officers can do today to revitalize nurses who are in the trenches right now? They are ICU nurses, they are ED nurses, telemetry nurses, and maybe they are just burnt out and tired, but they do love nursing. Yeah. Is there anything that you can recommend right now that nurse leaders can tap into to get nurses, the passion back in nursing?
Okay, so I'm not sure how to give you the short answer, but I'll give you an example. I was asked to come into this organization to deliver some in-services because the nurses were deemed to be giving poor quality care.
Yeah.
And so I went in on 3 different shifts, 3 different hours for about 5 days. And after the second person, I started taking notes. And this is what I found out, Miss McFarlane. Did I call her Miss McFarlane?
Just say Eva, French. Eva. Eva is perfect.
Miss Eva. Okay. So this is what we actually found out by delivering education and hearing them. Number one, they were passionate about their jobs, but they were sick. They were not well. And they felt so obligated to coming into work that they were missing their doctor's appointments.
Wow.
That was the first thing. So they were sick. The second thing is that if they make a mistake, instead of them saying, hey, you made a mistake, let's make the correction, they are disrespected and diminished. And that doesn't do good for the ego. That doesn't encourage anyone to come back.
No, not at all.
Right. If they call out, when they come back, they hear negative things about themselves. Not, I hope everything went all right. We're so happy to have you back. Okay. And so what we need to do now as healthcare leaders quickly is to, number one, we have to be aware of how much we ask. I'll give you another example. 21 days a person is going to work without a break because they call them every single time. At what point does your conscience kick in to say, no, this person has worked 5 days in a row, let them get their day off?
Yeah, a break. They need a break. Come on.
Right. So how can we as healthcare leaders give nurses a little space, a little breath, a little encouragement? Right. You're going to have to figure out the way to do that yourself, because I can sit and I can make recommendations, but I don't know your pocket. But I know that a warm word goes a long way.
Yeah, just a thank you goes a long way. Yeah.
A voice of appreciation, right? We're so happy to see you. And, they give you all these strategies. Get to know their families. That's not important because some people don't want to share their families with you. Yeah. But you're right here. And I want you to know that I appreciate you coming here to give the best care to our patients. Absolutely. And if there's anything you would like to improve your work or even your life, let us know.
Yes.
All right. warmth. That's all we ask for: warmth, appreciation, right?
Definitely.
And send me to the conference in Jamaica.
Yeah, Carrie, and that's why, I believe leadership, nurse leadership it's really all about the people. First of
Yeah.
all, those who work among the people,
Yes.
your team members, you have
Right.
your patient. It's all about the people.
Yeah.
And when we are so engraved into the system, and we are focusing on the next step as far as healthcare is concerned, the system itself, what is working right, what is not working, the schedule, the external accreditation bodies and all those things, and the people that sit right in front of us, we are not thanking them, we're not kind to them. Listen, leadership is all about kindness, people, recognition, empower people, inspire them, encourage them. And you'll get nurses and you'll get the people who work around you to feel more like they're needed.
That's right. They're worried about HCAP scores. What about nursing
Yes,
satisfaction scores? Because if one nurse is absent, it's your patient that suffers.
absolutely.
We are here focused on nursing, and we don't recognize that there are other professions in healthcare that also are leaving. Human resource directors, because the leadership they're not hearing. The
Yeah.
leadership somehow is so focused on the balance sheet that they don't realize that you're losing all the people that
Yeah.
will help to make your balance sheet.
Right.
I started working with this company once, and their turnover rate was about 24%. And this new CEO came in, got a team of us together, and in 1 year, the turnover rate went from 24% to 8.11%. I remember that number so clearly.
Yeah.
8.11, because that's an odd number, isn't it?
Number. Yeah.
8.11. But in 1 year, and what did he do? He initiated ways of appreciating the staff. There would be events. You would be leaving work, and there'd be somebody at the door giving you like a movie ticket, say thank you, or the night shift, they're giving ice cream. That's how he started, to say, we care about you. You're here. You're working hard. You didn't get a chance to take a break. Take this moment, 5 minutes, have this ice cream.
Yeah. I bet you
Right?
retention rate increased doing that.
Right.
Definitely.
That's right. That's right. Just by that.
Yeah.
And then when you hear the nurses, when you listen, you realize that everybody wants a solution,
Solution.
and everybody wants to be a part of the solution.
Yes.
So who is not listening? Who doesn't understand?
Right.
Healthcare leaders have to wake up.
Wake up.
They have to wake up.
Right. And what can healthcare leaders do then? I mean, we talk about healthcare leaders because we know you have many healthcare leaders, nurse leaders, they are giving out, they're giving back. But again, you can't pour from an empty cup. So they need to refresh themselves and with self-care and all these. What else can nurse leaders do to refill their tank and their cup so that they can really give out and become the best leader that they were meant to be?
Okay. One of the first things they need to do is to recognize really what is important. My hairdresser helped me.
Yeah.
My hairdresser said, make a list and pick out everything that no one else can do for you.
Yeah.
And then delegate the rest. What can no one do for you? No one can rest for you.
Yeah.
No one can eat for you. No one can revitalize you. Okay. So you have to make time to rest. You have to make time to eat. You have to make time to exercise.
Yep.
You have to make time to connect with people that refresh your
Build
spirit.
relationship. That's yep.
Right? You know that in the business world, most deals are made on the golf course. There's a reason for that. People are relaxed. There's no pressure.
Yes.
Right? They think clearer. Right?
Absolutely.
And so healthcare is really special because you're dealing with not just dollars and cents and inanimate objects.
Yeah.
You're dealing with human lives.
Absolutely.
You have to be sharp. You have to be aware. A second can make a difference.
Yes.
So as a healthcare leader, it is irresponsible for you to not take care of yourself, not to seek clarity, and not to be present. That's why we're having all these issues, because what you think is important is really not. And when you stop and recognize that the human element is what healthcare is all about, and that's what you need to tap into. The
Yes.
dollars will come if you take care of the human element. So the nurses and the doctors are taking care of the patients. As the healthcare leader, it's your responsibility to take care of the nurses and to take care of the doctors who are taking care of your patients. And that's what we need to recognize. We need to realign and get the first things first. What's important? You cannot run a healthcare organization without nurses.
Yes, definitely.
And doctors know this. Doctors cannot operate without nurses. Doctors can do nothing without a nurse.
Not
all
at
right? Right. But if you are not caring for your nurse, who do you think is caring for the nurse? Why do you think a nurse leaves the bedside and goes to serve at a restaurant? Because they get smiles and they get tips and they enjoy doing that, and they get to go home and rest without worry. So we really have to change the paradigm, right? It's not about money. The money will come as a side effect, but you must take care of number one, you have to take care of yourself. And when you can appreciate self-care, you'll appreciate how important it is to allow others to also get there. Wow. They cannot take care of themselves if they're worried about coming to work, worried about how many patients they're going to have, worried about how many staff, are going to be absent, etc. How do you start? You start by stopping. You start by realigning. You start by putting first things first, and then saying thank you. Just practice saying thank you until it comes out of your mouth automatically and until it becomes genuine.
That is so good, so rich. That is so good. I like and endorse, and I'm echoing what you're saying about self-care and wellness, because last week I had a women's empowerment conference.
Right.
And one of the things I reinforced when I was talking about wellness in business and in leadership is the fact that self-care and wellness is not just a buzzword. It is not just nice to do, but it is a responsibility. It is a responsibility for you to take care of yourself so you can take care of others. I think that's so rich. It is so important, because if you think about it, wellness is really a business, an organizational and business strategy. You can grow your organization just by being well yourself and helping others to be well. So nurse leaders have that responsibility to ensure self-care is top of their priority, and so their staff, same with staff as well. So I really, really thank you for saying that. And as we just have another 3 minutes to go, I should say, before I ask you that, let me ask you, any challenges that you have faced that you would like to share, that any specific or unique challenge that you faced during your journey? You want to share any experience on that at all?
Well, I've had quite a number, as I've had quite a number, but one comes to mind, and it was, the challenge was so great. When I spoke to someone about it, they said, you're going to have to learn how to manage your manager. How do I do that? And this was one of those things where the healthcare leader comes in, and they come in and they have an idea of what their perfect organization would look like. And without learning the organization or the culture, or even the laws that govern that operation, they came with fantastic ideas, but some of them are either impractical or illegal.
Yeah.
And so I remember going to this leader, and I said, I'm here to help you to be successful. I was the director of education at the time, and my role is to ensure that everyone that enters the building is appropriately qualified, and that all the education-related rules and laws are being maintained. And so she didn't know this, but I take my work very seriously. And so at that time, I don't do this anymore, but I would show up at work at any hour, day or night, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. I would do that because...
Sound like what I used to do.
Yes, because I had to make sure that my work is so important, and organizational compliance is very important. And
Yes.
so I would go in at 2 and I would see something. I say, hey, what's that? The supervisor would say, I don't know, but this is what I got. So I thought, okay, this person was making mistakes. So I took it, made the corrections, went to her and I said, hey, I recognize this. However, so and so and so, but it's okay. You know, you can ask me anything you want, and I'm here. This is what I'm for. Da 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 da. I didn't know that that offended the person, but it's as if they went out for me. But it was okay. You can do whatever you want as long as I'm following the rules. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. And so it ended up where most of the organizations, I didn't know that they were feeling the same thing, but they were keeping it to themselves. But I felt a responsibility to protect the organization. So
Right.
I reported above her to say, this is a concern of mine and I'm here to help. So however you want me to assist. And so it worked out. It worked out where, you know, the organization made decisions that put the organization back in compliance. And but it was very strange for me to come up against my leader. But
Yeah.
what I had to do was to, number one, remain respectful,
Yes. That's
and number
important.
two is to remain compliant.
Yeah.
Yeah,
These things happen sometimes, and
yeah.
as you journey, man, let me tell you, it's a lot of challenges that you face on a day-to-day basis. But how do you stay current with what's going on today? You have all kind of issues going on, staffing issues. Not how do you stay current with what's going on within the healthcare organizations, the enclosed organization, the hospital, and so on, the hospital system, the healthcare systems, and outside of the healthcare systems? How do you stay current?
Okay. So within the healthcare system, I have eyes and ears. Remember, we have students, and we do get to go in with students for clinicals, and I do that myself sometimes.
Awesome.
And then, you know, having past students who are healthcare leaders themselves, they'll
Yeah.
share information. I'll sometimes really call to ask focused questions. Sometimes they'll call to ask for how, you know, approaches to certain situations. And then I keep in touch with changes in the in the uh, in the statutory environment and in the social environment,
Yes.
both locally and globally. I think it's very important for us to know what's happening, not just around us, but, you know, so we can see changes coming
Yeah.
and position ourselves to make decisions quickly, you
Yes.
know. Yeah.
Carrie, you and I have to get together one of these days and have lunch because we have so much to talk about. We have so much
So
in
much to
common
talk about.
too. But we're wrapping up now, and I wanted to, as we are winding down, if you have any last word, do you have any last word for our audience or anything you want to share with them? And I also wanted to let them know about your company. Tell them about your company as well, but just talk to us.
Okay, so with the few seconds that we have left, I'm inviting you all to come to Jamaica May 7 to 9 for the
Yay.
Global Healthcare Conference. It's about reviving healthcare. We have
Yes.
fun activities, so you not just learn, but you get to unwind and you have fun. The first day, we're focusing on mental health, and we have some speakers that's going to change your mind. They're going to change your life.
Yes.
You don't know that you need the information that they have to offer you. I promise you that.
Wow.
And then we end the day with Jamaica night, where you get to taste the flavor of
What
Jamaica.
can I do without that? Absolutely. And you know
Right,
what? I'm going to definitely ask you to give us some more information, so I put it on in this podcast so that when
right,
we can see it as well.
right.
Yeah.
And so we welcome you to come. The second day, we're going to have tours. After the conference, we have tours, and then on the third day, after we look. The second day, by the way, is going to be about workforce. So all the discussions you want about workforce, come, okay? And then on the last day, it's innovations. What does innovation look like, and how will it change healthcare moving into the future? And then we end with a nice gala. All
Wow.
right. And so, right.
Really
So
rich. Sounds
so
good.
it's going to be really beautiful. And we do still welcome sponsors, and we welcome attendees. And if you own a healthcare company, if you lead a healthcare company, if you're a healthcare staff, come to Jamaica May 7 to 9. chadedu.org is where you can go and you'll see the link that says conference. Just click on that link and register. Registration actually closes March 31 because we want to make sure that whomever comes down, number one, you're not going to want to leave. And number two is you have a life-changing experience. And then so we want you to come register by March 31 to be in Jamaica, to come for the experience. All right. So I'll leave it at that for now.
Like it's going to be a rich time with those dates, May 7th to 9th. And that's going to be Kingston or Montego Bay?
Kingston, Jamaica. Kingston, Jamaica.
So the more information on that, on the link, on the link on this podcast, so you can check that out and talk to Kerry some more. I'm checking it out myself because it sounds super, super interesting. Well, wraps up our time. And Kerry-Ann Carnegie, it was amazing and fun speaking with you. I learned so much about you. We got to get together another time, girl. And, we have a nurse empowerment conference coming up in October.
Yeah.
We'll be, advertising the dates very, 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 very soon.
Right.
And I'd love to have you there as one of our speakers too. So we'll talk about that some more. We will definitely.
I'd be honored. Thank you.
So much to share and so much to offer. And I really like to I love to connect with nurse leaders and healthcare professionals, healthcare leaders who are really touching the heart of healthcare, because that's what it's all about. Yes. So once again, thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you so much.
And after this break, I want to chat with you, so I'm going to get you off, but stay right here. Don't go anywhere. Thank you so much, Kerry. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much again. And remember to subscribe to this podcast, and we will be sharing more information about our conference very soon. So thank you for watching.